All right, we got a large class today. Let's go. Woohoo! All right, cool. Today we are going to be building. This is our first time actually doing what I'm going to be calling. I believe this was called a full stack software developer. All right, so essentially we are going to be working with 5 different coding languages today in this one little class. All right, so basically the objective of this class is to get a coding script called the website scraper deployed on your guys' own server. Okay, this is a site. If I go right here and share my screen, this is a website that I actively sell. Okay, so I sell this as a software as a service. All right, so basically this is our software as a service, easy to use website. Crawl and scrape your website. Gather the data you need when you need it. All right, so AI coded this entire code, and now I sell this. All right, because here's the thing. There's sometimes you need data from one site into another site, okay? Or you need data from one site that you need to rewrite with AI, and then you could repurpose it, okay? So on my Facebook, I just posted scraped content, which is somebody else's content, plus AI equals new content, okay? And here's what I mean, all right? So I recently put together a little software that basically does a very simple thing for a client, right? They're going to become a client here shortly, okay? So here's what this thing does. Every day, this thing goes to the FTC website into this code right here where it's ftcpressrelease.xml, right? And it gets the updated press releases from the FTC. So this is who makes the rules of like what you're allowed to promote online, what you're allowed, like all of these laws. Well, check out this. I basically made it where every single day at 5:11 in the morning, I get an email that says new FTC press release if they send out a new email. And it says everything in plain English of what this is, right? So it says FTC has taken action against the onehealth.io for mishandling genetic and health data. So look, if you guys want to see this company allegedly left consumer data unsecured, misled consumers about data deletion options. Okay, so if you guys notice, this right here is a company in plain English is getting in trouble because their data got out. Unsecured data. Okay?
Hopefully they had cyber insurance.
So here's what's really interesting is, and here's the thing, it says example of a violation, and it gives you an example of a violation, example of compliant marketing, frequently asked questions, resources. This is all AI written, every single thing that you guys see right inside here. Okay, so this was a whole entire article. Here's a link to the full press release. So I could click this and I could actually go and read the actual article. Okay, so this is an entirely set up as a full little software. Okay, and here's what's really crazy. I'm reading a book. It's called Ask Your Developer. Okay, if you guys want to read that too, I highly recommend it. Okay, and here's what it said. Let me ask you guys, what kind of business is Amazon? All right, like if I go to Amazon.com.
E-commerce.
An e-commerce business, right? That's the traditional answer. Here's what's really amazing. This is what this book said. Jeff Bezos had a speech that he gave in front of a whole bunch of people, and he said, Amazon is not an e-commerce business. It's not. Amazon is a software business. Amazon software has the ability to take somebody else's products, these satin things, because my wife wants some silk sheets, right? So this is one of the things I'm going to order soon, right? So they have this ability to take somebody else's satin sheets through a software and deliver it to your house in the next day. Sometimes same day shipping. That is what their software is capable of doing. Amazon is a software company. From start to finish, they could track this package that somebody else created, their product, listed on their site, have millions of customers that their software can handle.
They're essentially a digital broker.
A digital broker, and their software is what does it.
A digital middleman.
100%. And here's the thing. So Jeff Bezos isn't the world's best e-commerce seller. He's one of the top software developers in the world. And
Top
so when you
affiliates.
see when you see a website online, when you see anything online, here's the thing, what that book says, the world is not just static websites anymore. It's who has the best software. And if that book says, if you'd be kidding yourself if you think that every single website on the internet's not a software in some way. And if they don't play and act like they're a software, they're losing. And so this, for me, it blew my mind like, okay, wow, I actually have something. Like, what if I used to have a news website, right? I had a news website and I wanted to post every day. Well, who has the better website, right? Like, who has the better software to get more content on their website, to get higher quality content, to get that content out to the world? That is all a software machine. And so if you're building that into WordPress or whatever you're building that in, think of it as a full, like, whatever I'm building, start to finish, the sales funnel, the product in the back, every single thing is part of the software. Even Amazon is a software. Like, for me, that just blows my mind. So here's what we're going to do. Today, we are going to become what's quote unquote called a full stack software developer. We are going to be using 5 different languages to make our product. Okay. And here's the thing. This is called the Website Scraper API. And I'm going to be giving you guys the code because I believe once you guys could scrape a website, once you guys could get the data from a website, the text, the images, whatever it is, you could repurpose that content and you could publish it to news websites. You guys could send people on an email that they could be on a daily email list that they get to subscribe to, right? There's so many things that you guys could build with the being able to scrape content and repurpose it, okay? So this is a code that I have sold as a white label. Like, here's my code for $400, okay? The only thing it didn't include was the instruction manual. I jumped on a call for them for about an hour and I set them up with this code. On this, from here on out, this replay is going to be the instruction manual on how to set up this code as if it was a white label user. Somebody just purchased it for $400. Here's the video and here's the code that you guys are going to get. Okay. If you guys want to follow along and actually use this code too, I'm going to hit preview and I'm going to send you guys this link. This is from the Code Vault. Okay. Inside of our chat. Check this out. Bam. All right. So now you guys actually have the code. And these are where you guys are going to be able to follow along and be able to actually download the script. Okay, so this is a Python script, and this is the page scraping script. So this allows us to get the content from an actual page. Okay, so I'm going to walk you guys through what this looks like on the front end as a user without all the code part and the nerdy stuff. Okay, so this is the software. It sends a little login. Every single thing that you guys see right here, the Website Scraper API, the code is the product. The actual interface is all built on Bubble whenever I was building stuff on Bubble. All right, so look, if I go to the scrape and I type in HTTPS, myaiteam.com, and I hit scrape, you guys are going to see in a few seconds, it's going to pop up the little link. And then I could view the data, okay? Here's all the text that it returns. It returns all the HTML. It returns all of the images from that page. It returns any emails if it finds, any phone numbers it finds. Not all of them are correct, but it does. And then all the pages, okay? So these are all the actual pages on my site. Okay, so here's what's really cool. This is this code right here that you guys now have, okay? So this is the code, all of this. This is actually what scrapes the website. Now here's what's cool. This is the PHP script. So now we're on language number 2. The first language is Python, okay? Congratulations, you guys are going to be learning Python today, okay? Like, we're multilingual in this at the end of this class, okay? We're going to be learning Python, PHP, JavaScript, CSS, and HTML all through this little process, okay? Which is the back end, the front end, and that makes a full stack developer, okay? So those are all the pieces. We are going to be using all of them, okay? So these are the scripts for the website scraper. And now here's what's cool. I use a website platform called Namecheap, okay? Namecheap. There's tons of other domain hosting platforms you guys could go use. I like using Namecheap. One is you could buy a domain. Usually you can get a domain for $12 a year, okay? $13 a year. The other thing is they have what's called shared hosting. All right, so for a yearly, like let's just say you do a monthly cycle, for $5 a year, you're gonna need the Stellar hosting, okay? Stellar hosting. So this essentially allows you to host your website on your own hosting. You have your own like server. It's like your own little computer on the internet. It's really cool. Okay. So now we have this. This is one of the requirements that we need. All right. So you need a domain and you need your own Stellar, the cheapest one possible, Stellar hosting. Okay. From Namecheap. All right. So that is on there. And then once you have that, basically you're going to be able to come in here into your account, right? I'll go to my dashboard and you have your dashboard here and you can see there's this little like server stack next to it. All right. If you don't have one, right? So like right here, it says Jeffrey Caldwell. This is one of my websites. There's no little server stack next to it because I didn't buy a server. I just bought the domain for a year and I pointed that domain to like Aspire Builder or Go High Level, right? Like you don't need a server for this. However, if we want to build software or run custom code, we're going to need a server. That's why I started buying a server for my AI team, the humans behind AI, Website Scraper API, all that. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go to websitescraperapi.com. And this is my, if we have this little server icon, we go to cPanel, okay? I'm going to click on this. And this is what the server is technically. All right, we actually have a server. This is like a computer, but on the internet. All right, we have everything back here. If you've never seen a cPanel server, I've been using these for like 14 years. And just now I feel like I'm starting to unlock the ability of like, what could I do with this thing? And this thing's amazing, okay? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go into the tools and we want to, there's this thing that says manage shell, okay? First we're gonna scroll down. You're gonna see, we're looking for something that's called terminal. And we're probably not gonna see it, all right? So we wanna say where it says manage shell, we're gonna click this and we're gonna say enable SSH access. Boom, okay? Super cool. All right, what that basically is gonna do, if we scroll down, now we have the ability, let's see if I refresh. We should have the ability to have a terminal. Let's see, right? Okay, so look, you see how we have a terminal right here? Now we actually have a terminal. Later on, we're going to use this terminal. I'm going to show you guys why. So you guys just saw that we added the terminal. Well, this gives us the ability to do so much with our server, okay? It's really cool. All right, so now we have our server. If I go into this, what's called a file manager, here's what's really cool. If you guys understand what the internet is just a whole bunch of files on the internet. All right, that's all it is. All right, so essentially, if last night I made a subdomain called tools.websitescraperapi.com. So what does that mean? Now we're back into this little server panel, okay? And we have our little domain connected. And I'm going to go to domains and I'm going to be able to click create new domain. All right. And from here, I could actually create subdomains on my main domain, right? My main domain's connected, websitescraper.com, websitescraperapi.com. So this is connected. And now I could actually say, I'm just going to put leads. That's a fun one, right? And then I'm just going to hit paste. All right, so leads.websitescraperapi.com. Well, this creates a subdomain for me, okay? So I could hit submit. And what is a subdomain? A subdomain, just think of it as like a folder on your, like on that. If we actually go to that folder, in a few seconds, we're gonna have content inside that folder, right? And so this is, whenever we create a file inside my AI team, we can add that file into that folder, okay? So now we actually created that subdomain. You can see we actually have leads.websitescraperapi.com. If I go to this, there's nothing here, which is fine. And I'm going to go back to tools. If I go to file managers, now check out this. Now I actually have leads.websitescraperapi.com. And if I click on this, it's an empty folder. It has this little CGI-bin. Just leave that. I don't know what it is, but just fine. Just leave it. All right. And here's what we're going to do. if I go into the little script that I gave you guys, and I actually download this script. Okay, so I'm going to hit download, and this is going to download a little or prompt. Okay, it just prompted a little like download button. All right, so it actually gave me the script so I could copy and paste. If it does it, that's cool. But let me show you guys how to use this. Okay, so I'm going to go into this, and I could even say add new file. If I have the file and it just downloaded, I could upload, and I could actually upload the file right here. Okay, so I have the scrape and I have the PHP file. So I'm going to upload my scrape script. It just uploaded it, and I could upload the PHP script. Okay, so there's 2 scripts to actually scrape your content. Okay, so now if I go back, well, check this out. Now I have my scripts here. I added them to my file in my server. Well, what does this mean? Okay, so here is where we actually have to do some technical, little knowledge. If I actually try to call this script, if I look at this little Python script and I hit view, essentially there is actually these requirements. So you see how it says import system, imports requests, import beautiful soup, right? Like this is how we are scraping. Well, these are like packages. These are almost like pre-written scripts, but we have to install those. Okay, so here's what I did. I made it pretty, hopefully easy for you guys to follow the instructions on how to install it. And I added it to this Python script. Okay, so let's see. So let's see where it is. Let me see. It might be. I did not add it to the Python script. I'm going to add it to this document. This is where I have it. All right. So Google Docs. And basically what we're going to do is we're actually going to use the terminal, and we're going to install these little like dependencies is what they're called on our actual server. Okay. So this is our little code, and I will add it right here for us. Right in this, use this in the terminal. Okay. Pip install, saved. All right, cool. So now if we refresh our page, here we got this. We have our pip install user. So let me show you what this is. So if we ever need to install packages, at the very beginning, you saw that we managed shell, and we checked this enable SSH access. All right, so this actually gives us the ability to manage our terminal. This gives us the ability to like change the behind the scenes, super technical, nerdy stuff. Okay, I had to use AI a lot to ask me how to get through this, and basically it kind of walked me through it. And I'm just kind of showing you guys now how to do it. It's way easier. All right, so now I'm going to click on terminal. All right, and this says use with extreme caution. This can destroy everything. Okay, and it's correct. Okay, so I want to proceed. And here's what's cool. So this is our terminal. Here's what we got to do. We actually have to go to that file first. Okay, so we actually have to find the file, and we have to CD into the directory. Okay, so here's what we got to do. You see how it says home / this like URL right here? I wish there was like an easy way to like get this directory link. So here's how I do it. I kind of just go into our terminal, into here. So we're back into our cPanel. And we have to go into what's called the directory, right? So we have to, you see this little home directory? This home directory is the file location. So this is actually how we have to actually find in our folder. We have to go to this folder, and this is what we're doing. We have to go to this folder and install packages inside this folder right here. Okay, so what does that look like inside the terminal? Okay, there's something called CD, which means you go to the directory and then you paste in this little thing right here. Okay, yours is going to be different than mine. You have to paste in what says the home directory link, this little link right here. Okay, this little like path. From here in the terminal, we're going to hit / and then we're going to hit our little like website directory link, right? Whatever term, like I typed in leads.websitescraperapi.com. Well, that's what your needs to be, right? Whatever yours is, website scraper API.com. All right, and I'm going to hit enter. And if you see now, this little $ is after this directory link. So essentially what this is saying is I'm actually in this directory link now, and the directory link is after the $. Okay, so we have $. Before that is our directory link. Okay, so yours should look like something like this. All right, I'm going to add this. All right, so first get to the folder directory. All right, and yours should look like something like this. All right, you guys need to replace my URL with your folder URL, your subdomain, okay? Save. So now here's what we're going to do. Now we're going to copy this second part, this pip install. So here's this really cool thing. I had to find a lot of ways to get to this little like custom command right here, this little like install command. But now that we're in our folder, we're going to paste, and I'm going to hit enter. Ah, command not found. Oh, so embarrassing. Okay. Why is it not found? Oh man, come on. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how if I ever have errors, I'm going to go into the custom codes, the snippets. All right, and I'm going to show you guys how I deal with this. Okay, I go into one of my commands, and I'm going to go into the chat, and I'm going to say I am trying to install these on my cPanel server, and I got an error. And then I'm going to paste this, and then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to paste pip command not found. I'm literally just going to paste this. All right, I don't know what it means, but I'm just going to paste. And then hopefully the AI updates it and then gives me the proper response. And then I could just give you guys the code, and then you guys don't have to do this little update error. Okay, so this says, since you're using cPanel, here's some options. Use Python to install it. Thank you. Let's try it. Now I'm going to go back into this little terminal custom code, and I'm going to hit this, command not found. Let me try it again, the next one. All right, if that doesn't work, try using Python 3. Yay. Okay, I'm going to use Python 3 now. All right, and I really hope this works. Success. Okay, cool. So now we have, you see how if we ever get errors, we use the chat to diagnose our issues. Okay, I wish I could do that with everything in my life, right? But right now it's just coding. All right, cool. And then it just installed all those dependencies. Okay, so now inside here, inside my little chat, I'm going to update this. So now it's going to say next install dependencies. Ah, dang, that's horrible. Dependencies in, there you go. Thanks for spelling that correctly. In terminal. Okay. And then this. Cool. Now we're going to save. So you guys are going to run that one now. Okay. Not the first one. Okay. So now we installed it. Well, what does that mean? Okay. Well, let me show you guys. Here's what we could do. Now that we just installed this, I could refresh, and I could go to this code. And if we are inside Bubble, okay, so if I was inside Bubble, remember how we set up our API last time? Well, I'm going to go to my settings, plugins, and to our API connector. And we're going to go down, and I'm going to add a new API. And I'm going to say website scraper. Okay. And I'm going to hit expand, and I'm going to hit, this one is going to be a post, and I'm going to use as action. And here's what's cool. You guys saw how I put that on HTTPS. If I go to this, this is on HTTPS. What little site? I put it on leads.websitescraperapi.com. Okay. So now I'm going to type in leads.websitescraperapi.com. And then If I have a parameter, our parameter is going to be URL. Okay. And now I'm going to hit HTML, HTTPS, myAIteam.com. This right here where it says body type, we're going to change it to form data. And then I'm going to hit initialize call. It returned it as a non-object and you picked JSON. Okay. What does that even mean? A non-object and I return JSON. Uh-oh. It shouldn't be that. Okay. Oh, look. So is it not calling this? Okay, let me see. Okay, so you guys see how I'm calling this? And it says leads.websitescraperapi.com. I actually need to call the script itself. What this just called, it called my index. Okay, so you can see here's my files. Okay, but it didn't actually call my script. Okay, so how do we fix that? We actually have to call the script. So we say /scrape.php. Okay, this is calling our scrape script. And now if I hit data type, this is actually JSON because that's what it is. And I hit initialize, we called it, and we actually have success. Woo, I'm so glad that worked. Okay, so now if I hit show raw data, check out this. We actually have the success is true. This is our text content from my AI team. This is all of our HTML content. This is all of our, if I scroll way down here, this is all of our image URLs with the preview, the alt text, everything like that. This is the phone numbers, social links, any emails that it finds, and how long it took, which is 0.43 seconds to scrape a website content. Okay. And you guys now have that script. Okay. Well, what else can you do with this? Okay. This is connecting it into Bubble. Yay, cool. It connects into Bubble. And now you could add it into the workflows. If I go into the workflow and I add something like, say, like button login, and I come in here, custom scripts, plugins, and let's see, what did I just add that? Website scraper. I could look it up. It's called Website Scraper with an API call. And you can see, if I go to plugins, you see how it says private? If I uncheck this, I could go to workflows, and now I have my URL in here. So I could actually pull content in. And if I want to like create data and I could save things, right? So I could say like, right? So this was a, this is like scrape a site, right? So I could actually save the data from results. And you can see I could save the success, the text content, HTML content, image list, phone numbers. I could save all that information right there from that call. Now Bubble is calling my API that we just set up on that script. You guys can now sell that. You guys can build that into your software. You guys can now do anything. But what if you guys don't want to use Bubble? What if you want to use Go High Level? Or what if you guys want to use something else? So here's what's cool. You come in here into your scraping script and into the scrape.php. If you hit view, check this out. I actually put some really, let's see. So let me actually update this. Is this the correct one? All right, so here's the PHP. Let's see. Scrape, success, error. Perfect. I thought I updated this to the newest one. Let me give you guys the newest one. Boom, cPanel. Because I actually updated the scraping script, so you guys actually have the full comments in this. So I'll go to tools, crawl, scrape, PHP, and view. All right, cool. So here's what we could do. All right, if I go into this, if I go into the scrape, this one view, the Python, let's see which one it is. There's some comments in this. Okay, perfect. So you see how it says right here, this Python script? If we call this comments on the Python scripts, if we look at this, go right here. Inside this right here, there's comments, right? So it actually says what it returns. So this says returns JSON, text, HTML, content, images, everything. So here's what we could do. I could copy this whole entire script, right? Copy everything. Copy everything. I could go over to my AI team in here. App.myAIteam. And we could actually utilize this in a software now. All right, so I could go to API snippets, and I could say create new snippet. And I could say, I have a website scraping script that lives on, it's called HTTPS. We just put it on leads dot website scraper API.com. Okay, /scrape.php. All right, that's where we put it on. Yours domain is going to be different, but at the last part, the scrape.php will be the same. Right here is the Python scripts. And I'm just going to paste it. And then here's the other one. All right, and I'm just going to paste this one. And now, let me go back here. Back here. And then I could say, and here is the PHP script that is the API. All right. And then now I'm going to say, make me a full dashboard for this. Okay. So all I did was paste in our documentation. That's it. That's it. Okay. And I'm going to say, check out this. I'm going to add this behind the scenes so you guys don't have to say it every time. But this greatly increases the AI's like quality. You just say, think carefully and then create. That's it. All right. So one, we could set the software up in Bubble, and you guys saw we just connected this into our API, right? We made it where we can now use this in our software. We called our API, everything on this. Okay. And this is setting up this API. If we ever call this API, this is what the API looks like. In a few seconds, the AI now is going to code up that entire new little code for us and make it where we could have a front end dashboard for this. So now you guys have a script that you guys can sell, or you could start building this into other things. You guys saw when I did the FTC scraper, that now sends it into Bubble. Bubble rewrites it inside with AI and then creates it where it actually has, okay, look, we have a little dashboard. Okay. So now I'm going to put HTTPS. I'm going to put my wife's website, lcdesigncompany.com. And we're going to scrape this website, scraping in progress. Beautiful. Boom, baby. What's up? 1.9 seconds. Meet me outside. Catch me outside. Here's her email address, so you can use this for lead generation. Here's all of her social links. Here's her text content. Here's her HTML content. Every single thing on this part. Okay? Like, look at this. All right, all in a few seconds from this scrape script. Okay? Well, what could you do with this scrape script? All right? Give me 10 ideas on what I can do with this script. Okay. And then you can start building it out from here. You can start asking your social media, hey, who has content that they wish they could take with AI and rewrite it? Right. Well, this could be part of the software. Okay. So here's how to utilize it. Here to enhance it, schedule scraping, custom scraping rules, SEO analysis, content summarization. I just had a guy that messaged me today. He says he has a client that owns 5 news websites, and he says their top SEO, like content driving traffic to their website, is actually obituaries. And here's the thing: he said he's been following me in his scraping. He's like, dude, check out what I've been doing. And he's like, he goes in and scrapes funeral homes that people recently passed. He stylizes an image inside of another site that looks beautiful, makes it nice and pretty, and like gives them honor, and then rewrites that article for them and then posts it and then links back to it. And now the AI fully does that automated. And it now posts it to their WordPress blog after they human approve it to make sure it looks cool, because it's a sensitive thing, right? So there's a human evaluation. However, they used to have writers that did this. And now that whole thing is fully automated. And that is one of what they serve, right? They serve people that have obituaries. It's a news site, right? Well, they just fully automated it using something very similar, okay? And now you guys have a script that basically does that exact same thing. Okay. Any questions on setting up this script, getting it deployed anywhere at all whatsoever? What'd you guys think? Is this your guys' first time ever dealing with a little behind the scenes script or anything like that? Like Austin, anything like that? What you got?
So I'm more used to dealing with Next.js and a bunch of stuff. I'm not really used to dealing with cPanel. And it's the first time like really like diving deep into cPanel, and I kind of teach myself PHP and HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Could you walk us through? So like when you set up the parameters, what did you set those up as? And inside of Bubble, because Bubble's a beast.
Yeah, like when I set up the parameters to get that API.
Yeah,
absolutely. So once you set up the script, okay. Once you set up the script, let me. Bam. Once you set up the script and you do the little deploy thing where you actually do the terminal, okay. All you're doing is you're calling this. You're calling wherever you posted. Okay, so we're going to walk through this post really closely. Okay, so one is the API name is just a name. Okay, authentication, self-handle, leave it that. Then we actually set up this call, which is basically, this is just a group of all the calls. Okay, so this is really the call. This is the name. We're going to say website page scraper. Okay, inside here now we have is use as action. We want to use as action because now we could use it in our workflows. Okay, that's this little action makes it where we could use it in workflows. Data type is JSON. The next thing is we're going to make sure it's a post request. Okay, because we want to post it. Post means we're going to send some information and then it's going to retrieve some of it back. Okay, we're posting. And then we're posting it to our URL our subdomain that we just set up. Remember how we set up the subdomain and we set up leads.websitescraperapi.com? We set that up. As long as you follow the thing and you add the PHP script and the Python script, the PHP script calls the Python script, okay? This is the back end. If you ever need to call your AI, this is a great way to do it because it's in the back end. It's calling it on your server. No one's going to see that call, okay? So it protects that call, that script on your own server. Okay, so now we have this script on this server. This is the location of the script. If I go to the file location, right, we have file manager here. I'm just in the file manager. Literally right here, I'm in the scrape.php. Okay, so this loads. Okay, this one's the tools.human.ai. If I go into this was scrape.php. That's all I'm doing is referencing this. Well, this is waiting for information, okay? What this is waiting for, if you hit body type, not JSON, but form data, I set up the parameter as URL. So it's a lowercase URL. That's what it's expecting. If I delete this, right, so I'll just delete this parameter, and I'll hit initialize call, and it says URL is required, okay? It gave me an error message, false. You can't even do it. You need a URL, bro, right? So guess what? I go in here and I say add parameter, and I type in lowercase URL, and I type in my domain, any domain, myAIteam.com. And now I hit private, uncheck this so you could use it in your software. And now I'm going to hit initialize call. And it's going to load, success true, all of our text content. If you get any other type of error, we'll follow the steps that we have in this video to make sure it's installed. If it does say a different error, you can always ask the AI, okay? Just like I did. If you ever get stuck, ask the AI how to do this. So now I hit save. Well, guess what? Now I can go to workflows, and literally right here, the website scraper is inside this. It's in our workflows, right? If I go to here, if I go to plugins and I scroll down to the website scraper, website page scraper, it's right here. Or I could even search it, right? I could just type in scrape and I could say website scraper, page scraper. And then I could pass in the URL. Well, guess what? If we want to make it where the user passes in the URL, right? So watch this, right? So I can hit delete this. Let's see, go back. Let's make sure I didn't delete just anything that was important. Yeah, I don't need this. All right, cool. All right, so we'll go back to that other little software that we were building the other day, right? Chat with Jeff. And I'm just going to set this thing again. Right, we'll literally just set it up again, okay? So we'll go to plugins, and I'll go to add another API right here. Okay, add another API, and I'm just going to say my website scraper because this is the one I just created. I just named it. All right, and this is going to be called scrape a page. Okay, you can name it whatever you want, and then I'm going to say use as data action, and then it's going to be a get. It's going to be a post. And then I'm going to paste my URL, right? So my URL that I just created, my subdomain, and it's going to be, I put leads.website scraper api.com/scrape.php. Okay. And then now if we go to parameters, I'm going to say URL, and I'm going to say HTTPS myaiteam.com. You guys could scrape myaiteam.com all you want. Okay, initialize call, and you can see success URL is required. All right, because if you see how it says body type and it says JSON, I need to make sure it says form data. Okay, and now I'm going to hit initialize call. Boom, it's now in this software. Okay, you can see here's all that raw data, and I can hit save. All right, what you got, Austin Jameson?
So when I tried to set up the call, sorry, Jameson, go ahead.
You're good. Go ahead. No, you're fine. Go ahead.
When I tried to set up the call, I'm getting an error saying invalid JSON output from Python script.
Invalid JSON output from Python script. Are you calling the scrape.php on your server already?
Oh, you know what? That's what I did wrong. Yes, I am.
All right, you want to share your screen and see what you're at?
Sure. If I sure can.
Jameson, you got a question too? What you got?
Yeah, so my question was, is there a way, can I add a parameter in there to where it scrapes API endpoints too?
Yeah, so
Can we make it to where it lists all the API endpoints and tools that they use to when we scrape their website? I mean, I wouldn't deploy that and like just put that out there anywhere, but I want it for myself for doing stuff like this. So
100%.
I'm the inquisitive. I'm very inquisitive in regards to learning to connect the dots and put resources together. Hi, buddy. I'm on a class, okay?
Daddy, can I have some of the fruit punch?
Yeah,
Let's
here a little bit.
now.
Here, you want to say hi for a sec? Say hi.
Hi.
Hey.
All right.
All right, invalid JSON output from Python script. Okay. Did you install those parameters on your cPanel, that full code in your terminal? Boom, you got this. Nailed it. Okay. Dude, look at you. Way to follow instructions, man. So good.
And then I got on my cPanel, I have the two scripts, the scrape.php and the scrape.py, but it is not and it's saying that there's invalid JSON
output from the Python script. Okay. All right. Is anybody else where Austin is following along that fast? Austin, you are a super genius. Way to go, man. So impressive. Okay. So you got invalid response from that Python script. Okay. So here's what we're going to say is
oh, that's why.
Why? What'd you find?
I didn't even paste in the code. I should probably paste in the code too now. There we go.
Oh, like you didn't add the code into the
I
software?
guess not. I thought I did, but I guess I just created the file.
Okay, all right. You got me scared there for a second, man.
Listen,
All right.
it happens.
All right. Let's see it now. Run it, B.
Let me make sure.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see if it's in
Oh, I
here.
didn't.
Edit or view. Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
so I
we got
did
our,
that
we got
one.
our PHP script. All right, were we successfully able to transfer this? This is so cool. Let's see. Yes, Austin, let's go. Oh man, that is so freaking amazing. Dude, I am so proud of you. Way to freaking go. Dude, you rocked those instructions, bro. Let's go, man.
So here's a question: how are
Yeah.
you managing API keys?
API keys, yes. All right, great question. So inside here, how am I managing API keys? So I am managing API keys through Bubble. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen, and basically, Bubble's my database, right? So I have my scraper here, and whenever a user actually creates, like the scraper is just one function, right? So you just set up that software. Well, that now you have to make it where there's a user interface, like a database.
Yeah.
Like you want to set it where they're tracking, like how many credits did they use, so you could charge, right? There's an API there. Well, that's where using the proper tool comes really in handy. So inside here in my database, if you see inside Bubble, right? So this is the website. Okay. I go to my data and I actually have user, and in the user is the username, the credits, the billing cycle, the plan, everything like that. But then I have an API key as another one of those records. Well, the API key has the text, which is the key, the usage, because I track how many times they usage, and the user ID, because I want to see what user it was. All right, so now whenever they're setting up their software inside the website scraper, you can see I have API keys here. Well, if I hit create API key, it just created a new API key for me. Well, that makes it
just creating random generated text.
That's it, right? So if I go into that's it. That's all an API key is. It's just randomly generated code to say, hey, look, this is your account, because who's going to guess this based on how long it is, right? You see how long this thing is? Who's going to guess this? And then that key connects to my account. Well, I could copy this and I could use it, anything like that, right? I could delete it if I need, right? Whatever it is. So that key is connected in Bubble. Every single thing set up in there, okay? And that's how I track it. Inside the call, right? So I might have it where it does sign up. Okay, so we'll have it like, right? We just set that up, right? So we have our little page. Let's see. We have this chat with Jeff, right? So if I go in here, and this is where we create an account. But if I actually go into Bubble, and if I go into dashboard, remember this is our little coder. We have our little Python coder. So here's what's really cool. All right. So now we actually have this Python coder. Well, that's what we did last week. I don't want to get rid of the Python coder because Jameson just said, can I make it where I get all the APIs? Yeah, you could use a Python coder. You could use the coding software, right? If you go into how I actually made this script, if I go to this chat, literally, this is how can you update my script, my script to get all the API calls, right? You could actually do this and update your script. I'm just giving you guys the foundations of that script, okay? Where you guys take it from here, let me know. All right, but this is where you update. So the front end, this code right here, if I hit view code, this front end right here, this is HTML. You see how there's HTML right here? HTML is the structure of a website. This style, this body is called CSS. This is what stylizes the page. Well, if we scroll all the way down, there's these scripts. That's called JavaScript. So today, Austin, by you setting up that script, and anybody else that follows along and sets up this script, you set up Python, PHP, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript all in one thing if you go through and use this whole thing that I did. All right? That is what's called a full stack developer that does all of those things and connects it. The only thing is they just do that over and over in different software. They connect it to databases, right? You guys saw how we just connected to databases with Bubble, right? Like inside Bubble, I can now save that data. All right. Anything that I just pulled back from here, check out this. I could hit view code and I could copy this code, and inside Bubble, if we want to make this software where it's multi-software, okay, multi-page, okay, so now we have a Python scraper. Well, I want to put this in a group, right? So I'm going to make a little group, and I'm going to say group. I'm going to say layout, and I'm going to center it, make it where it's not fixed width and not fixed height. And I'm going to take this HTML code and I'm going to drag it into that group. Bam. So now this is in that group right there. Okay. Well, check this out. Here's what I love about Bubble. Okay. I'm just going to make it where it's really easy for you guys to see with this, right? And I'm just going to have a drop down. All right. I'm going to have a drop down and I'm going to have it centered. And I'm going to have this, and I'm going to call this drop down tools. Drop down tools. All right. And this one is going to say Python coder. Okay. And the next one is going to say, actually, instead of me making the tools, I'm going to use something called an option set. So I'm going to go to data, option sets, and I'm going to skip the tutorial because I used my own. And I'm just going to say pages, create. And one of the pages is going to be, say, Python coder. Connect Python coder. The next one is going to be, what do we saw? We said page scraper. Boom. All right. And I'm going to hit create. And I'm going to say, go back to design. And here's what's cool is this little drop down, I could say choices, dynamic choices, types of choices, option set pages. Okay. And now I can have all pages. My choice choices is all pages. And option caption is just going to be display. Okay. And then you can see it says I could set default value and I could say Python coder. Perfect. Just Python coder, not Python coder display. So here's what this does. If I hit preview, hopefully I'm logged in, right? If I hit preview.
Nope, Jeff's frozen.
I'm not logged in. Oh, I don't have a. No.
You're
Did it
back.
freeze? Hopefully it's back. All right, cool. All right, let me log into this. All right, data, app data, user, run as, boom. All right, cool. Now we have our Python coder, right? Well, here's what we can do. This is our Python coder. Well, check this out. Inside of our software, we have our dropdown and we have our page scraper. Well, if I change this, nothing happens. Well, watch this. If I go into Bubble, this is why I absolutely love Bubble. If I go into Bubble and I go into this group, I'm going to duplicate this group, right? So I'm going to hit copy and I'm just going to paste it right in this thing. Paste, copy. Why can't I paste? Paste. All right, now we have another group, right? So I'm going to say group, and I'm going to say, what do I want to call this one? Group.
Scraper.
Scraper. Thank you, Austin. Scraper. All right, now check out this. You see how I have this group A and I have group scraper now. All right, well, group A, if I go to conditional, oh wait, I actually want this little, you see how it says little drop down? I don't want that inside my group, okay? So if I go to group A, I could go to conditionals and I could define another conditional. So now I could say when drop down tools value is Python coder. This element is visible. Yes. And I could copy it and I could say the same thing. Drop down value is not Python coder, hide it. Bam. Now watch this. This is where it gets fun. All right, because now I could go over into our software, right? So this is the one that we created earlier, right? This is our code for the website scraper, right? So I could go to view code and I can hit copy and I can now go into Bubble and see Bubble into this Group Scraper, the second one. Now watch this. And we could replace this. And I'm going to put the other code, the new code that we just went. So now we have two things that we coded with AI into this thing. Okay, I pasted it into there. We have the new website scraper. Awesome. Oh, wait, I got to clear all and then paste it. All right. And then conditionals with this one, same thing. When the drop-down tools value display or app value is page scraper. This element is visible. Copy, paste. When it's not, hide it. Make it not visible. Okay. So now if I hit preview, watch this. This is really fun. Now we have our Python coder. Here, let me remove the debug mode so it gives us full screen. Debug mode off. Oops. Let's go. What's this? Try it again. All right. This here. Remove the debug mode. All right, so now we have our Python coder. And if I use this little page scraper, now we have the website dashboard page scraper. You can see how it like didn't remove this, like it didn't, like there's still that space. So if you go into group and then go to layout, there's this collapse when hidden. Okay, we want to make sure to hide that or check that. And then same thing, collapse when hidden on that one. Right, now we could refresh this and we have our Python coder. Okay, so we have this. This works from last week. And then we also have our website scraper in the same software. Like they don't have to do anything. All right, I need my API key. All right, so basically it's the exact same, right? So it's the same thing. Now you could have software, multiple pages of software in the same thing, using the same database, but you're coding it with AI. Okay. So for me, this is where I've essentially, now I can make multi-page software. I just used a little drop down. However, you could make it where when it clicks a button, it changes the page type, however you so choose. Right. But I at least wanted you guys to see what it looks like to have dynamic pages.
You're a legend.
So cool. Did that help?
Yeah, and so basically, like if we wanted to turn it into an application like My AI Team, you just create a sidebar and you attach it to each button, and voila.
That's it. 100%.
Sick. That's so sick.
100%. Yep. 1000%. So cool. So now, guys, you guys have this scraping script. You could build it into your other products. Try to think of that's like a foundation. I just sell that whole entire software as an API. That is a full business. Like, people need content into their other products. Think about the other person. He needed obituaries into their WordPress site. That's a product. I have another guy that needs FTC articles into his emails every day. That's a product. So getting content, rewriting with AI and sending it to somewhere else and posting it, that's a full software business. And think of your whole website that you have that a user sees as a software. That's why I say Amazon is not an e-commerce business. It's a software. And if you could start thinking of it like that, even their sales process is a software. All right. So everything is a software and it's highly intentional. Okay. So I can't wait to see what you guys use with the script. Austin, if you see the replay, congratulations on setting that up, dude. I'm so glad you set it up so fast. Anybody else sets it up, let me know. Kudos. And heck yeah, I'm proud of you guys. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Love you guys. Bye.